leave for work in a couple days. And I'm wanting to get as much done on the trailer as I can. So today I'm gonna do a lot of gussets. I'll put those in there. I'm gonna add another piece of tube, clean up a lot of welds, so all the welds that are gonna be up against the flat sheet metal need to be ground down smooth so it doesn't have any weird ripples. I'm gonna mount the gas tank, build the mounts for the gas tank. And then, if time permits, I'm going to mount the toolbox where the electrical is gonna be mounted. Alright, so when I originally started building this, I didn't have any plans for a water tank or what kind that we were going to use. So to make it work, I'm trying to figure out a way to mount it. And I think what I'm going to do is we have just enough overlap, so that'll sit flush underneath there. What I'm thinking about doing is taking like a gas tank on a car, how they're strapped down to the real thin metal, putting a nutsert over there, and then pull it tight and add a nutsert on this piece here. So that'll hold it down. It shouldn't move around that much. And I figure if it works for a 35-gallon fuel tank on my trucks, it'll work on a 10-gallon water tank on the trailer. The only part we're going to have to do is, once this is added on there, I'll have to cut a little slot in the floor for it to shoot down through there, because I wanted to go straight 90s down so it's easy in and out if I ever have to take it out for any reason. And then the bed frame will be built around it, so that'll hold it in as well. But that's the plan of attack. We're going to get that welded in there.
Oh, look at that little Bill. He's a little Hercules.
The fun part about all this is I'm running out of material. Pretty much all I've got left are little scraps hanging out right there. It'll be enough to get done what we got to do today, minus the one piece of tubing we got to get in there. But now that the Dodge is up and running again, we can go get more material tomorrow. This is called foreshadowing. Just a little bit better look at the brackets I made. There's simple, it just happened to work out to where the space I needed to fill was the exact width of that square tubing. So cut it to the size I needed, made sure it was flush with the top of that rail so the tank would sit flat on it, and then just welded them in. Yeah, boy, still got it. So a lot of what I do is just kind of trying to figure out, how do I make what I have work? And here, what I'm doing is I'm measuring out the length of the strap that I think I'll need for the bracket to hold down the water tank. I don't know why I keep calling it a gas tank. And then once I figure it out how long I think I need it, I go to somewhere with a corner of 90 degrees, like right here on the edge of the trailer, and I just kind of clamped it down and just manually forced it around. It's not real thick metal, so it doesn't take much. I just need somewhere stationary where I can pull on it and push on it. And then, as you know, just kind of tweaked it, got the rough shape, and then went back to the tank and made any kind of final adjustments on it, and was able to kind of get it pretty good at the first try. I only bought one piece of metal, and I didn't have to redo it multiple times. And then all it was just the final touches of cutting them to the actual length after I had it measured out from where the tank and the floor was. Drilled a couple holes in them. Then go and mark those on the new brackets I welded onto the trailer, and pop in the nutserts, and we're good to go. Just throw them right in there, and they mounted right up. All right, there we go. Got the brackets built. Got them temporarily mounted. I didn't have any M8 bolts, but luckily I had some laying around from my Land Cruiser when I built that thing, and had some spare bolts. And I know some people are going to notice there's a gap. Yeah, the floor's not installed. So whenever the floor gets installed, it'll raise that up about 1 inch, and it'll make it real tight and good to go. But it came out pretty good. It's painted, installed, ready to move forward with the floor, which is coming very shortly. But you gotta wait for that. We borrowed this strap off my Raptor. That's what I used. It's in the bed, or the spare tire down the bed. It's probably gonna be the one that's used for the trailer eventually. I just wanted to use it so I can mock up where all the hangers are gonna go. Gonna have these little D-rings on each side. Have that clipped down into them. And then there'll be one up top as well right here. I'm not gonna adjust this one because it's the one that goes on my truck, but the general concept is this. I have straps holding it up against there. It's got, D-rings on each side, one up top. So now the strap will hold it back and hold it down whenever it's all adjusted good and tight. That's that. Now let's talk gussets. So to make it as simplistic as possible, let's aim you up some. There we go. All right, make it as simplistic as possible. A square, naturally, when it has force applied to it, wants to turn into parallelogram.
Yes, science!
Can you see that? Maybe not. Let's zoom in a little bit. Yeah, so it naturally wants to get shifted over. But if we triangulate here, so we add a gusset there, it will not be able to do that anymore. So my thinking is, if I triangulate opposing corners all the way down the trailer and across the roof, we should be good to go. All right, so I got a whole bunch of, there we are, handful of these little gussets off Amazon. Pretty cheap, easy, already ready to weld. I just put them in the corners. I've already done a lot of them earlier on in the build. They're all over the place. But I'm just gonna go ahead and finish them up. And like I said, my thinking is, because I have one here, I don't need one there, but I already have one, so I'm gonna put, I don't need one here, I don't think, because I have that. So I'm gonna put one on this side, and then this side. Now this is gonna be a door, so we can't put one in there. And then on the bottom, so I have one there, I have one there. Because I have one there, one there. Because I'm going to have one there, I'll put one down there. So I'm just going to offset them in opposing corners. And I feel like that should give us the rigidity we need for the sides. I'm going to do the same thing on the top if I have enough. Just run down the whole roof. That way any lateral load won't cause us any problems when we're moving down a trail and have a rooftop tent on and all that other good stuff. We were going to get more materials, but it rained like crazy last night. So there's water everywhere. And my trailer is way back there. And I will completely destroy my side yard trying to go get it. So we're just gonna weld up what we got, the gussets, clean up any of the steel, prep it for paint, then we'll go get material when it dries up. Oddly enough, these gussets aren't difficult. They're just time consuming and repetitive. But the only difficult thing about them is getting into the random positions you need to get into in order to get them all. I mean, you tack them in place, you run a couple stitch welds, then you move on to the next one, over and over and over again. However, just because they're so small, progress doesn't show up well on camera. But it's one of those things we must do before we can go on to the next step. I don't know why, but this one corner, ooh, that's particularly been crushing me. Been welding the same temp the whole time. And now I got a nice little hole to fill. Not that big of a deal. Just didn't want to fix another hole. Oh, fixing one of these holes isn't that big of a deal. It's really just a series of tacks stacked on top of each other until the hole is filled. Then once you have the hole filled, you can grind it down and no one will ever know. Good. Whew, it's hot. I'm going inside to take a break, and then we'll do the rest of the cleanup, grinding everything down, all the other fun stuff. And then we'll be ready to keep on going. All right, so all the gussets are welded in. Now, there's a couple places where I would like some additional ones, but flip you around real quick. This thing is so stout, like there's no deflection anywhere. I'm confident I could get on there, jump up and down, and it's just rigid. And also, we're skinning the whole thing in sheet metal. So once all the sides are on, I mean, it'll all be one big unit.
That's what she said.
So I think that's gonna be okay. Time will tell. I think one of my least favorite things about this project in its current state is every time I have to, do something, it seems like I have to take everything apart. So now that we're getting ready to prep for paint, I gotta move the toolbox I just installed. I gotta remove the tire I just installed. I gotta take out the kitchen, the gas tank. It's not a gas tank, Sam. It is a water tank. Take out the water tank and the refrigerator, and then we start cleaning up all these welds. Big fan of making sure we wire wheel all of them down, get them ready for paint, because I don't know if anybody welds with a stick like I do, and I've never MIG'd, so I don't know if it's the same, but if you don't clean up the slag off the weld, the paint won't stick. So then once that's kind of done, move on. The welds are clean. Now the ones where the sheet metal will butt up against them, we got to grind them flat. And once those are flat, we'll be ready to hopefully start spraying paint and getting ready to install everything for the last time. Believe it or not, we got a lot of stuff done that doesn't really show up as much progress. With all the gussets welding in, grinding them smooth, getting the prep for walls, I mean, that's just a lot of stuff that takes time, even though it doesn't show up well on camera. But we got the toolbox mounted, all the mounts for the spare tire, those are ready to go. The mounts for the water tank, they're built, they're ready to install. Everything's pretty much welded out on the frame. I got most of it painted. There's a couple little bare spots that need touched up, but other than that, it's good to go. The one issue I ran into is I have an idea for how I'm gonna do the door frames that doesn't include buying a lot of square tubing. And I needed one small piece for in the back for one of the doors. Finally found it at Lowe's, short piece, it was expensive, but I'd have to buy a whole 25-foot stick and only needed 18 inches of it. So we're good there. I'll weld that in whenever I get home and get back to work on it. I think the piece now that I am trying to figure out is what to do next. Like, I know originally I wanted to put the sides on as fast as possible, but I really think that getting most of the stuff on the inside done would probably be easier without the walls. Things like building the fenders, running the electrical, run some of the plumbing, because we're all going to have a hot water tank, so run the plumbing for that, and then we'll have a sink as well, so we got to run plumbing for that as well. I think buying some of those components, getting them mounted up, will make it a lot easier for the final result of running all the running the electrical to it and the plumbing. And then we just slap the sides on, even if we have to pull the components out of the way, so we don't have to worry about them while we're welding in. And then I think we got to do a lot of sheet metal work for the back end, sealing it up, getting all that stuff done. But I'm at a loss. Most of this stuff is as I think of it while I'm building it. So if you got any ideas on which is the best way for order of operations, let me know. Like, share, subscribe.